Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, today we will discuss about the network types on which the parallel or the database in this architecture can connect to each other. Mainly there are two types of networks as we know. One is the LAN, local area network, another is the WAN, wide area network. And we will introduce with other type of network known as SAN, that is storage area network. The first type of network is the connection of one computer to another computer. And whenever there is a connection between them, if we can call them, a network is having connected two computers. But in real lives, we have more computers that are connected to each other. So the first need of going through these connections was for connecting a particular database or sharing some information with other computers. Now this concept arises with the concept of LAN. That means in local area network or LAN, the people recognize that the need of connection of information or the sharing of information between an enterprise. Say suppose that one enterprise is enlarging themselves, that they are opening branches on different parts of the city. Now they all want that the information of one branch is be kept with other branches information. Now how can we do that? So we can apply to an information technology where we can connect with each other's branches. Now we can have that within the LAN. So LAN was basically used for a small geographical boundary where it was being used by a single enterprise or say a group of enterprise at most. Now the enterprises can have connected within a building or 1 kilometer to 10 kilometer large area to connect with a LAN. So why they choose for a LAN? Because LANs are most reliable to use their networks in such a way that the LAN can be connected with one computer to another as it can be connected in a simplest way. So now all the computers or the peripherals need to be connected to a backbone network using the bus technology. And this bus technology can connect one computer to the peripheral and also other computer to the peripheral. We often see in the offices that from the first floor they are giving some printouts on the next floor or any of the floors. So how can they do that? They do using the LAN. So how the LAN is constructed? Now we can construct a LAN by connecting each of the peripherals, the workstations, the application servers through a gateway. Now gateway is a connection that connects many peripherals. Say suppose in our LAN architecture we have 3 workstations, 1 application server. Now what is the function of this application server in this LAN? Because say the web browser will ask for the information that the LAN needs to connect with every workstations. Here the workstations means that are connected to the network. Now the application server will do for a proxy server and then ask the application program to perform the what is being fetched by these workstations or other peripherals. And indeed the application server will connect to the server system or the main system that has been given all the applications access to these workstations. Now using this gateway, the application server can see the printout given by these 3 computers or the workstations. So there is a printer connected to the LAN. Also it can happen that the workstations are connecting to a laptop using this LAN. And the last and final one to be connected that is very important is a file server. So what does a file server do? It just sends the files or information technology on these files that it transfers from one workstation to another or workstation to laptop or even the file transfer from the workstation to printer. Now the file transfers or the file servers like the FTP uses the protocol or the file transfer protocol to handle the situation of transferring the files, that is dividing it into packets of messages and then rearranges the order of these packets while in the receiving side. So all this can be handled by the file server and the application server being handled with the applications that connect with one LAN to another. Now the LAN can be connected with each other via the cable like the twisted pair or the coaxial cable at its most, because for the LAN we do not need to go for a large geographical boundary, so we can choose the less expensive things to be connect with one computer, that the coaxial cable and both the twisted pairs are very less expensive for connecting, while if we go for an high speed then we can choose the optical fiber as a connecting medium too. Now inside this bus technology where there is a common gateway. Now this gateway concept is more related within WAN, but in the LAN the gateway connects with every workstations, the peripheral servers, the application servers, the peripheral devices with each other. So now the gateway being the connections of this LAN. The speed up of this LAN is generally 10 Mbps, while in this connection of the coaxial and twisted pair, it can even go to the 1 Gbps if we go for an Ethernet connection. Now Ethernet is a special type of LAN with some facilities that it have a greater speed. And for the Ethernet connection, that is the gigabyte Ethernet, it even can move to the 10 Gbps speed onto this LAN connection. Now the LAN connections are mainly useful for having information exchange between one enterprise or say one country or within a small geographical boundary. But what happens when we want to information pass to a larger area network? So this large area network is covered by the wide area network or WAN. But before going to WAN, there is one more use of this LAN technology, that is known as storage area network. Now the storage area network or SAN is a smaller version of LAN. That means it provides us for a storage pool that gives all the access to the machines to the storage pool. Now there are some advantages that is related to this SAN, but before that we need to construct that how SAN is connected to a LAN. See for example that our LAN is having 3 clients. And what is the basic concept of SAN is being the storage that is connected to the SAN. Now any storage that can connect it to a SAN can be accessed by any of the server that belongs to this LAN technology. So now this how a LAN and SAN connects with each other is a concept of a server. Now my LAN needs to connect with a server. So it can either be the server for the application server, the file server, but it needs to connect to the LAN. Now this server will be again connected with the SAN so that they can access the storage. Now the LAN and the WAN or the SAN, say we are talking about the SAN connected with the LAN, but also we can have this with a WAN. Now the SAN is connected to the web content provider and also the data distribution producer. So this too applies for the main functionality that connects with the LAN and a SAN. Now the SAN is connected to the data processing center, which acts as a data distribution producer. That means it produces the distributed data onto the LAN on which each of the client can access. Now what are the advantages of this SAN? Now SAN can have the storage arrays that is connected to it. That means every storage can be easily connected to a SAN. So now the storage arrays are connected to the SAN in such a way that even if there is one failure to the storage array, they can be continue with other clients that is accessing to the server with these other storage arrays. So one advantage is the high scalability that can be produced by this SAN. And the other advantage is that even if a computer fails, say for the client 1, other clients can continue with the LAN to connect and get the use of this storage array. So now the SAN is in storage pool where we can attach every pool and attach every computer to it. So once one storage array is attached with the SAN that is connected to the LAN with the server can be accessed by any of the client that is accessed and connected to the LAN. So in this way LAN and SAN connections are computed go hand in hand and they can produce a better technology for the database management system on a parallel and both sequential architecture. Now the last one we will talk about the WAN. Now WAN generally emerged in the 1960s where we can have the need of not only connecting an enterprise but also we can connect with the world or say over the seas. Now, how we can connect within LAN, because it is having geographical boundary or the restriction of 10 to maximum 15 to 20 kilometer. But when we want to send information, like the first it is introduced by the ARPANET, that is the American Research Project Internet Network, and that network needs to be sent by the defense system of an America to send from one region to other region. Now, how can they access from one region to other region this memory? So they can access it by having all the transfers within a WAN. Then they introduced a connection of wide area network where the geographical boundary is not a matter. So now they can send the information over the seas and also over the air. So this type of network has been very popular and then gives the idea of an interconnection networks that we use today as internet. So it is a network of networks. So now we can see that if there are many LANs that is connected with each other. So these LANs can be connected with each other via a gateway on which it needs to connect. So now this gateway or the hub will serve as the main point to this LAN. So if one LAN needs to send this hub over the wide area network, then they need to send it to this hub first, then the other LAN can get the information from this hub. So in this way we can afford to have a larger, better quality, and also the speed and the work done is mainly differences from this WAN and LAN. Like the WAN uses mainly the optical fiber for an high speed achievement, and also it uses a wireless network like the router over the radio network or any of these Wi-Fi connections that we are using. So now we can send the information over the air, or also we can send information like the minimum type of cabling, that is the optical fiber, which has a very high speed technology. The problem of latency takes there. Say for an instance, if that is a LAN, that a message can be sent to the other computers within a few milliseconds. But now my WAN connects one LAN to the hub and then it is connected to the other LAN. So now there is a contention that the router on this hub. So in some way, as it is a longer distance, so if it is connected by a cable, then the latency problem arises. As after the traveling, the network becomes slow, and now maybe we are getting a data loss problem too. So these are the problems that we need to take care of the WAN connections, and even if the boundaries on this type of restrictions that we have on WAN, it became very popular like the use of internet. And also it is very much secure by the using the HTTPS or the secure HTTP server that can connect to the WAN. Now the web browser can directly apply for the application server, not through any peripherals that is connected to each other, just by connecting to the hub, and then the peripheral get information transferred to other peripheral that is connected to other LANs. So there are two types of mainly attached with this WAN connection. First one is a discontinuous connection, another is a continuous connection. The discontinuous connection supports that it allows only a part of the network time that the peripherals are attached to it. And in the continuous connection, it needs that all the time the peripherals will be connected to a network, even if they are not communicating with each other. Now the discontinuous network says us that only a part of the time the network will be connected to the peripherals. That means the peripherals will communicate with each other by connecting them to the network. So now the clients can connect to the LAN either in a discontinuous or in continuous way. If they connect to the discontinuous way, then there is a server or the main application or the database holder on which the client can share the memory. But using the concept of SAN, that comes with the continuous complications. But for the discontinuous one, they may need their own local copy to be updated when they want to access the database. Now the remote system or the update need to be done locally because they are not connected with each other. Another way of connecting it that each of them will update periodically their own database so that they can have the connection or they can have the information about other clients updating the data or connecting to the LAN. Now with the continuous connection, this problem just avoids because they are mainly uses the SAN technology. Both the storage areas are connected with the SAN, and every time that a client is connected to the LAN or WAN can connect to the SAN and then access that storage very efficiently. Now there is no need that before a connection we need to get a first bond between these two clients and then we can communicate to each other. All the time the clients are connected to each other. At any moment they can communicate with each other via this SAN technology. So this is all for the network types of a particular database architecture which can get use of the LAN and WAN with the help of SAN. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned with Ekeeda and subscribe to Ekeeda.